Here at the Armenian National Committee of Australia, we encourage young community members to continue the march their ancestors were forced on. We bridge the path for young Armenians to Australia's halls of democracy. We encourage them to make a difference, stand firm and resolute, to remember that their strength comes from the resilience of persecuted people stripped of the ability to contribute to change. And along the process, we help these young Armenian-Australian leaders of tomorrow to personally forge careers in public life. Hear it from the young people themselves.
Hi, my name's Tamara Katoyan and I work as an administrator at the Armenian National Committee of Australia. You may have met my colleague Arek a few years ago walking into the ANC-AU offices. Today, join my colleagues and I as we venture into some of Australia's most prominent leaders and their offices. I joined the ANC-AU as a volunteer during the 2020 War of Artsakh. Everyone in the ANC-AU family was so supportive, and as a result of this process, I've been able to grow my career in politics immensely. After becoming a recipient of the Hagop Kortian Scholarship in 2021, I was placed in the office of Senator Christina Keneally. Being able to work for someone who's been such an inspiration to me, both politically, but just as an example of an empowered woman in her industry, was an absolute dream come true to me. I was able to learn more about Australian politics, see the ins and outs of Canberra, and grow just overall. I now work for Labor's Shadow Minister for Indigenous Affairs and Family and Social Services, Linda Burney. My Armenian heritage has always been such a big part of why I got involved into politics. Being able to advocate for truth and justice for these long-standing issues that our community has faced was incredibly important to me. And I think it's important for young Armenian Australians to also get involved, to use our wealth of knowledge and our experience as Armenians to advocate not only for ourselves but for other downtrodden community groups. Being able to advocate for the Armenian Australian community and grow my career in conjunction to each other has been so good, and working with the ANC-AU has been such an incredible experience. Ryan, over to you.
Thanks, Tama. So hi, my name is Ryan Avazian and I got involved in the Armenian National Committee in March 2021, and now I'm working for the State Member for Ku-ring-gai, Alistair Henskins, who's also the Minister for Skills and Training and Science, Technology and Innovation. In 2016 I made the decision to go to Armenia, and that was a really eye-opening experience, and it exposed me to things that I hadn't seen before. So when I came back I got more interested in Armenian history, but I was still researching from afar, and then that's when I decided to take a more active role and join the ANC. So because I've worked in the ANC office and now working in an MP's office, I know every time I see a letter or campaign or email come in, I know how much hard work and dedication has gone into that, and for me, I always make sure that it gets on the MP's desk. So I think that's the most important thing, and I think Hike always says that you want to take what you've learned and apply it in any other position you get into, no matter how junior or senior. That's the most important thing.
Hi, my name is Tiranush Masi and I am the recipient of the 2019 Hagop Kortian Scholarship. As part of the scholarship, I undertook 3 months of frontline work experience in the office of Jason Folinsky, who's the federal member for Makela, and also chair to the Standing Committee on Tax and Revenue. After that experience, I spent some time in the ANC-AU office, where I was part of the defense of the Armenian cause, allowing me to represent issues that matter most to my community and I. Now, I work full-time in the office of Dave Sharma, who's the federal member for Wentworth and also chair to the Joint Standing Committee on Treaties, and I love what I do. It's important to mobilise young Australian Armenians into careers in politics. This places us one step closer to making a positive difference in Australia, as well as succeeds the pursuit of justice for our ancestors. Although Tamara and I are on either side of the political spectrum, what unites us is our passion for change, representation, and to the betterment of Australia's future narrative.
You have now been introduced to the young Armenian Australians who are only beginning to scrape the surface of their potential to make a change. Now it's time to hear from the trailblazers who paved the way for such difference to take place to begin with.
My name is Hovik Melkonyan. I'm an Australian Armenian and I'm a trade union official by trade. At the moment, I'm working for Uni Global Union, the trade union peak body in the services industry, and I'm the organising director for the Asia Pacific. They say that you might not be interested in politics, but politics is inevitably interested in you. As an Armenian, that's crystal clear when you think about the fact that we reside in Australia, that we're not in our ancestral homelands, and that's through the Armenian genocide, through no fault of our own. It's not something that we chose, but something that was inflicted upon us. And so not to be interested in politics or not to be involved in politics, to my mind as an Armenian, is nonsensical. My message to the young Armenians who are involved in the political space or those that are thinking about being involved in the political space is that you should absolutely have a go. If you have a vision for what you think is a better world, or if you have issues that you care about that are burning issues for you, whether it's education or housing affordability, homelessness, health, jobs, job security, they're all things that are worth fighting for, getting involved in the political process, fighting for and being involved to make a change.
My name is Giselle Kaptirian. I started my professional career as an international trade lawyer, advising a number of governments around the world. In that position, I had the privilege of seeing how different economies structure their trade laws in order to create prosperity for their people. I had the privilege of working in Geneva and in London at the World Trade Organization, and I realized at the end of my tenure working there that I would have a contribution to make to the Australian public and the nation that's given me and my family and my community so much. I was lucky to serve 3 federal government politicians in my time, in my 5 years in federal government. First, Julie Bishop in the Foreign Affairs and Trade portfolio, Stephen Chobo in the Trade portfolio, and then finally as Chief of Staff in the Industry, Innovation and Employment portfolio. It's so very important for all of us to be engaged in the political discourse that goes on around us. Whether we like it or not, politics will find us even if we choose not to participate in it. And I believe strongly that Armenian-Australians know the price that can be paid when apathy and cynicism take over. We need our people, our youth, to make sure that they are informed and educated about the policies that affect us and our community.
Good evening, everybody, and congratulations to the ANC for continuing to inspire a new generation of Australian Armenians in considering public office, or importantly, being involved in the affairs of our state and our nation. As many of you know, I started off in community life as an ANC volunteer, as someone who worked on the board and someone who got enormous fulfilment from making a contribution to our wider community, and that certainly inspired me to consider a career in public life. One of the main reasons why I did that, and certainly what I learned from my parents and from my community, was how fortunate we are to live in a free society like Australia, how fortunate we are to be citizens who can exercise our free will, our speech, and how important it is for us to give back, to protect all that is good, but also to be incredibly proud of our heritage. And I know many young people feel the same way that I did 20 or 30 years ago, and I never assumed I'd get elected as a Member of Parliament, let alone lead the largest state in our nation. So anything is possible. And I know that many of the young people I meet volunteering or supporting the ANC have far more confidence and ability than I had. So the sky's the limit. Continue to make a difference and be incredibly proud and respectful of the wonderful state and nation we call home.
Today, Armenians are woven in the fabric of Australia's multicultural society. We do what we can, when we can, to ensure that young Armenian voices are heard, considered and promoted. That the march for justice, which started in the deserts of Deir Zor, continue in the hallways of power, so that we can never again be ignored, misconstrued or misrepresented. We do it to leave a legacy strong enough to withstand the trials and tribulations of our times. For a strong Armenia, a secure Artsakh and a prosperous diaspora typified by the Armenian-Australian community we are so proud to represent.